is more statistical data that proves no. Nobody's tuning in to see Angel Reese.
In the ever-evolving world of professional basketball, a new women's league was introduced with the promise of something fresh, exciting, and full of potential. The reality of this new venture, the Unrivaled Basketball League.
Yes, it is unrivaled. It is also unwatched. Look, let's be honest, we can sugarcoat it all you want, but if you don't have Caitlin Clark playing women's basketball, or if you're not the...
has been far from the game-changing spectacle its promoters promised. As it turns out, the lack of star power, combined with a focus on hype rather than substance, has led to a significant drop in viewership and excitement. The opening weekend was supposed to be the start of something special. The league had aspirations to compete with established players like the WNBA, but without the right star power, those dreams are quickly unraveling. The most glaring issue, the absence of Caitlin Clark. When it comes to women's basketball, Caitlin Clark is more than just a player, she's a phenomenon. Her ability to draw viewers.
Basketball, you got nothing. Zero zip, nothing. Angel Reese may be playing in the league, but who wants to see a goofy 6'6" woman miss layups? Not I.
Spark conversation and elevate the sport is unparalleled. And without her, the Unrivaled League has struggled to capture any real attention. In this breakdown, we'll dive into the league's underwhelming ratings, the player dynamics, and what this means for the future of women's basketball. Let's look at how the league's debut unfolded.
Why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person, it's because of me too, and I want y'all to...
And why the lack of Caitlin Clark is making it hard to survive in an industry built on star power. When the Unrivaled League was first announced, there was a lot of buzz. People talked about it as the next big thing in women's basketball. Angel Reese, fresh off her national title with LSU, became the face of the league. But what happens when the expectations set by the media and influencers collide with reality?
NT did, and they're bragging about him because, well, they're the best they've ever been. Because they've only been once. It's like being the most handsome man at the Dockett's family reunion. It sounds good.
The first couple of games were touted as a success, with numbers that seemed promising at first glance. The opening weekend brought in 300,000 viewers per game. While that sounds decent, let's break it down a bit further. These viewership numbers, though slightly above average for some smaller leagues, don't compare to the ratings that the WNBA regularly pulls in, especially when Caitlin Clark is involved. Caitlin Clark's influence on the sport is undeniable. Games featuring her can easily break 1 million views, and during big WNBA games, her star power has attracted millions. The contrast between the viewership for Unrivaled and Clark's games couldn't be more stark. While Reese and her peers are pushing to lead the charge for women's sports.
Oh, hell of a lot. Look, let's be honest, the new women's basketball professional 3-on-3 league. The numbers were released from TNT, and they are...
The absence of a true megastar like Clark is leaving fans disinterested. TNT, the league's broadcaster, attempted to spin the numbers by claiming that the debut games were the highest viewed women's basketball games in their history. However, that's not saying much. It's like claiming you're the fastest runner in a race with no competitors. The novelty of a new league is bound to attract some initial attention, but the question remains.
It's hilarious because it's my understanding now, she keeps telling us, Angel Reese keeps telling us, that it's not...
Can that attention be sustained without compelling play on the court? And then, as if to emphasize how quickly the hype fizzled out, Monday's ratings saw a dramatic drop. The first game of the weekend had 312,000 viewers, but by the second game, the numbers plummeted to less than 200,000 viewers. By the end of the weekend, one game barely scraped over 100,000 views. This sharp decline speaks volumes about how quickly people tuned out when the excitement wore off. In the world of sports, viewership is king. Ratings determine not only the value of broadcasting contracts, but also the sustainability of the league itself. With numbers that fall flat, Unrivaled is left with an uncertain future, one that will require more than just flashy marketing to overcome. For those who followed the build-up to the Unrivaled League's debut, there was no shortage of bold statements from Angel Reese.
Women's basketball players that are leading all these new viewers into the WNBA. And I think it's these ratings right here that prove the...
She was confident, some might say overly so, about her role in driving interest in women's basketball. People aren't just watching because of Caitlin Clark. They're watching because of me too, she boldly declared. While it's undeniable that Angel Reese has gained fame and recognition, the hard truth is that the numbers just don't reflect her claim. Fans tuned in, but once the novelty wore off, they quickly lost interest. What the debut of Unrivaled has shown is that while Reese might be popular,
TNT would have to do something to try to spin this in some kind of positive direction, and I just don't think there's a way to do it because
Angel Reese has been a vocal advocate for her role in elevating women's basketball. Following LSU's championship win against Iowa, she declared herself as a central figure in the sport's rise. Social media buzzed with her bold claims, from talk show appearances to viral moments. However, the Unrivaled League's debut has tested her assertions, and the results are unflattering. Despite Reese being marketed as a cornerstone of the league, her presence failed to translate into sustained viewership. The opening weekend saw ratings plummet after the initial curiosity wore off. Monday's game saw fewer than 200,000 viewers, with one game barely breaking 100,000. In a particularly ironic twist, Reese played in the second game of the night, the one that lost the most viewers.
Unrivaled, the women's basketball league, the new women's basketball league that we said would be dead on arrival without Caitlin Clark.
So, what went wrong? For starters, Reese's appeal seems limited outside of her NCAA championship moment. Unlike Caitlin Clark, who consistently wows audiences with her skill, Reese's on-court performances haven't captivated the same level of attention. Her claims of being a major draw ring hollow when the data tells a different story. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, or rather, the superstar who wasn't in the room. Caitlin Clark is a once-in-a-generation talent.
Clark playing in it was in fact dead on arrival. All right, let's just say unrivaled, unraveled already, and
whose presence elevates any game she's part of. Her combination of skill, charisma, and competitive fire has made her the face of women's basketball. Without her, the sport feels incomplete. The numbers speak for themselves. During the WNBA playoffs, games featuring Clark drew record-breaking audiences. Her ability to transcend the sport has even led to comparisons with the likes of Stephen Curry and LeBron James. But it's not just about TV ratings. Clark is an economic powerhouse. She's responsible for 26% of the WNBA's revenue.
The TNT PR, the two games on Friday night, the debut games for the new league, averaged 300.
Driving ticket sales, merchandise, and sponsorships. Unrivaled's failure to secure Clark or even a player of her caliber has left a glaring void. Fans aren't just looking for good basketball. They're looking for stars who can create moments. Clark does that effortlessly. Without her, Unrivaled feels like a pickup game that nobody asked to watch. If the ratings weren't bad enough, the product on the court hasn't helped. Unrivaled's opening weekend showcased sloppy play, missed layups, and a lack of cohesion. For a league promising elite talent, the execution fell far short. One particularly egregious moment saw a player botch a fast break layup, fumbling the ball in a manner more suited for a blooper reel than a highlight package. Analysts and fans alike have criticized the league for overhyping its product without delivering substance. Even the commentary and coverage felt forced.
12,000 viewers. Now, I got to ask you, 312,000 viewers. Let's go to 300,011 viewers because there's probably 1,000 families.
Sideline interviews and pregame shows seemed more focused on marketing than offering genuine insights. The overwhelming praise from commentators came off as disingenuous, further alienating viewers. As one analyst put it, we need to be honest with our constructive criticism of women's basketball. Pretending everything is great doesn't help anyone. Let's dive deeper into the numbers. Unrivaled's debut games averaged 312,000 viewers, but the ratings quickly nosedived.
Members watching, what the hell? I mean, did you put your TV on? You're waiting for Charles Barkley on a Friday night hoops and you just left it on? I mean, what are you doing?
Monday's second game barely broke 100,000 viewers, a catastrophic drop. Regular WNBA games without Caitlin Clark routinely draw around 400,000 viewers. The decline isn't just a bad look, it's a financial problem. TV networks rely on ratings to sell advertising, and low viewership makes it difficult to justify continued investment. TNT's attempt to spin the numbers as strong is laughable when you consider the broader context. David Levy, an investor in Unrivaled, has pointed to social media engagement as a sign of success.
Funniest part about these ratings that they put out, I mean, God, TNT Sports must be dizzy with the level of spin they're trying to give this thing.
The league reportedly garnered 31 million views across platforms during its opening weekend. While that's impressive on the surface, it doesn't translate into tangible success. Social media buzz is fleeting. It's easy for a highlight clip to go viral, but getting people to tune in for an entire game is a different challenge. Without consistent viewership, the league's long-term viability is in serious doubt. Meanwhile, the WNBA continues to build on its momentum, thanks in large part to Caitlin Clark. Her rookie season shattered expectations.
Between the first game and the second game from last Friday, the debut of Unrivaled. Now, why is that significant? Angel
proving that women's basketball can be both entertaining and profitable. The league's ability to showcase genuine talent and compelling narratives sets it apart from Unrivaled. Clark isn't just a star, she's a movement. Her impact extends beyond basketball, drawing in casual fans and inspiring the next generation of players. The WNBA has wisely capitalized on this, ensuring that Clark is front and center in its marketing efforts.